if you look at those images, you'll see a host of different people. You'll see civilians based on their dress. U.S. soldiers are there coordinating the burials, religious leaders. You'll also see formerly enslaved people helping with the burial process. Abby and Sally wrote that as they came into Fredericksburg, enslaved people were flocking to the lines, but they didn't stop there. They also started working in the hospitals and working on moving wagons between places. And so this is a difficult but extremely important job. I therefore made application to the Provost Marshal for authority to officiate at the burial of those soldiers who were to be buried within the military limits of the city. I've officiated up to present time at the burial of 133 officers and privates. No proper headboards or coffins are provided, but we use shingles with the names written thereon and placed at the heads of the dead as carefully as possible so that friends can readily find the bodies of those they seek. And Ryan shared with us some of the complications that eventually arise in the post-war era of trying to locate those graves. But what we also see with this story of Reverend Stone and the leadership that he takes to fill a need is that there's an importance of maintaining identity here. The Overland Campaign is dealing with thousands of soldiers, thousands of casualties, and this long series of battles that go on and on. And within this, you see stories of people trying to remember the people around them, who they were, making sure that that record would be left behind. And so even though we don't know the names of all of the relief workers that were here in Fredericksburg, today we just shared a couple of them with you, and the research is ongoing. We're trying to find more of them. And while we don't know the names and locations of all of the soldiers initially buried here in the town, the stories that we shared with you all today demonstrate that people were seeking human connection during this tragedy. They're seeking someone that's going to learn who they are, who's going to be a friendly face to them. The wilderness in Spotsylvania Courthouse resulted in thousands of casualties, and sometimes we kind of get in the habit for, if we're Civil War buffs, to kind of compare battles based on the casualty counts. But each person has a name, they had a home, they had an identity. And so Reverend Stone's story of trying to mark these burials for these people's loved ones reminds us to look beyond the numbers.